Welcome, Scott, to What's a Trump. Thank you for being here with me.
Hey, how's it going?
So, we're, here. I have you here to kind of touch on some of the crazy, chaotic stuff that's going on in America, right? Especially with our Chief and Lord Almighty, should I say. So, I want to ask you, have you heard of Tarrif Bear?
No, actually.
Do you know what the Care Bears are?
Yeah.
So, one of our wonderful congressmen took to in front of all his peers with Tarrif Bear. And Tarrif Bear looks just like a Care Bear, but he's wearing a MAGA hat and he's got a price tag on his belly because all the tariffs that Mr. Trump is putting on everybody, that his kids are scared that they're not going to be able to even afford presents for Christmas. How do you feel about that?
Jeez. I think that's horrible, for one. I mean, kids shouldn't have to worry about any of that. It's not
Did
something
we?
that we should have to do.
We didn't have to do that 20 years ago, did we? I mean, I know you're only like 22.
I'm 29.
That's close.
Um, but no, when we were growing up, I never had to worry about, yeah, we weren't the most well off. We were pretty poor, but I never had to worry about not getting anything. I never had to worry about, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't have to worry about, the the big one when I was younger was the housing market crash and the recession. We didn't know about any of that as kids. We didn't care about it, and
I think the biggest thing
that's
for
one
me
of the.
was
Go ahead.
Clinton
Yeah, yeah,
and the
or
stain on
then
her dress. I mean,
right. It's just crazy to me how much. I think that's one of the biggest downsides to technology and everything being on social media and things like that is that while it does a lot of good as well, the access to information is not a bad thing by any means.
hands down, it's not.
Um, but we get a lot of kids are getting access to things that they don't need to have access to. A
Agreed.
lot of kids aren't allowed to be kids anymore.
They're growing up way too fast.
Um, and that's something that's
That
not
bugs
a
you.
good thing. As a kid who had to grow up too fast, that's not a good thing at all for anyone's mental health or physical or mental well being. So it is definitely something that I think is really scary. You see more and more stories of kids that are scary. It's a weird thing because I also do think that it's helping a lot of the younger generation get into activism more, which is a good thing. So it's like a
We just
weird
gotta
double edged sword.
understood. Absolutely understood. It's like I was thinking earlier, with all the medications and everything they're pushing at people lately, is it to control them? Some need them, some don't.
Yeah,
You know,
I
so I was
mean when
thinking
we
about
were.
my ADHD medication. I'm an empath.
Mhm.
So was I put on ADHD medication because I was a nuisance? Because I thought too erratically and I thought too fast and and spoke too fast and was too out there and more understanding of the world and more people's feelings when I was off of it and they couldn't handle that. That's what I think about a lot too. That kind of thing. But
That's definitely
I
fair. I mean, pharmaceutical companies have been using medications to.
shut people up for the longest time.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, it's not exactly a new thing. I mean, you
Not at
look at the
all.
way lobotomies were used 50 years
I was
ago,
about to bring that up too. And not just
electroshock
not
therapy,
not just look. I asked
all
for.
these other things.
By the way, I want where I work. I ask for a lobotomy daily. I even say I got an 8 for 1 coupon and try to take my coworkers with me. But I'm like, I'll get the band. I got the coupon.
Honestly, I get that. There are some days where I feel the same way. But it
It's
was,
what
the way it was used back then
It's
to
horrible.
silence so many people and to it's
Well, and that brings up Jack the Ripper, the movie.
yeah,
Basically, in the movie, they use the lobotomy to silence the woman that the prince slept with, just to so she couldn't speak out. So that brings up a good topic there because no telling what they're using to silence people. And I was thinking earlier, the movie B for Vendetta. Honestly speaking, if they're going to go out and they're going to basically he's going to let ICE go out there in plain clothes, take people off the streets, not just you know immigrants that are here illegally, but also American citizens who were born here, veterans who fought our wars that are showing their veterans ID cards, and black bag them. Who's next, right?
absolutely. It's definitely a slippery slope. It's something where I don't want to be an alarmist or some seem like some wacko conspiracy theorist, but if we're gonna let them do that, what's to stop it? It's the same argument that people made several years ago when they repealed Roe v. Wade.
Oh
What's to
man,
stop them from going after anything else? What's to stop them from going after any other? As uh, a proud bisexual man, what's to stop them from going after gay marriage? What's to
I
stop them
hear
from going after anything that they deem
proud bisexual woman, so I get
against
exactly what
them?
you're saying.
What's to stop them from doing that? And like I said, I don't want to sound like an alarmist, but you know, even 4 years ago, nobody would have ever in a million years thought, oh well, they'll repeal Roe v. Wade.
Oh, exactly. I was
And
having
that's
a
what they always say. Oh
conversation.
well, that'll never happen. That'll never
Oh,
happen.
well, it
That's
did
the worst mindset to have because that'll never happen doesn't foster any kind of a plan for if it possibly
Oh,
does.
it does
There's always
happen.
all it has shown since this man has been in office in 26 since 2016, and now again in
And
2024 is that it's possible.
completely, he
Nobody
completely
thought in 2016
disregards.
that he had a chance. Nobody thought
He,
he had a chance, so nobody fought for him. And then
that's the
here in
problem.
2024, same problem. Nobody thought he had a chance, so nobody fought against it. It's
He had too much of a
so
chance. People did not were.
unfortunate.
It's scary, and I have
Yeah,
two
it's
children.
terrifying.
You know, one's grown, one's not. And when they overturned Roe v. Wade, my daughter was only like 13 years old, and it's like now my daughter doesn't have the right to her own body. Now I have had my tubes tied, luckily, before that happened. Following the Texas laws of you have to have two children and be at the age of 26 to even be able to try to do that.
It's
And they actually
ridiculous.
conveniently lost my paperwork every time I went to the hospital. So luckily, I was smart enough to copy my paperwork and triplicate and triplicate and triplicate and have it in my glove compartment box when I went to have my C-section. And again, they lost the paperwork, and I gave it to the doctor and said, "You can't lose it. I have tons of them in my glove compartment box out in the car." So even then, it was them trying to tell me that I had no right to my body. And
Mhm.
it was just, and then my daughter, like, what if, I just think about what if something were to happen to my daughter, and what if she was
Mhm.
raped? Would she even get the choice? Is she going to have to get medication off online to be able to have an abortion? Because it's her body. She does not want to have a baby. It's up to her, no matter what she did to get pregnant.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what
Kids
people
make
fail to
mistakes.
understand, what people on the right fail to understand is making abortion illegal is not going to get rid of abortions. Making
No, it's
abortion
going to make it
illegal is only
worse.
going to get rid of safe abortions. It is
Exactly.
only going to get rid of safe and medically, you know, practiced abortions. It's not
And
going to
they're,
get rid of
hey,
abortion. People are
no, and
still
hey, yeah, and we're
going to
going to
do
have
it.
pills.
Before it was even years ago
Yes,
when it wasn't normalized and it wasn't, it was still seen as taboo and everything. So it still happened. People still got abortions. Abortions aren't something that just started happening in the last 10 years.
people throw themselves down the stairs. They take a coat hanger.
It's only going to lead to um,
Unsafe.
more unsafe abortions. It's going to lead to a rise in fatalities. It's going to lead to a rise in children being born with birth defects that honestly they shouldn't have been born with. it's going to lead to a lot of really unnecessary things. And the problem is,
And deaths.
they talk about the right like loves to preach pro life. They love to preach, well, we're just pro life. We want that baby to have a chance. Okay, well, are you going to raise the
What about the
baby?
mom?
And exactly, what about the mom? Why does nobody care about the mom's life in that situation? When a young woman finds out, she's got a, she's pregnant and finds out, but if she has this baby, it more than likely will kill her.
Oh, it has
Why
to
is
be at a
that
certain
baby's life
stage, and
more
it has to
precious
be
than
a
hers?
certain. It has to be a certain this or that, or they got stipulations. But let me tell you a
Uh,
story that I heard not long after they overturned Roe v. Wade. There's a lady that went to the emergency room, but she was so far along pregnant, and the baby was killing her, and she was having a miscarriage, and she died too because they would not take the baby.
mm-hmm.
So why was that baby who was already dying more important than that mother's life? That mother had other children too that have no
Yeah,
mother no more.
it's like they don't care. They really
They do
don't.
not
They
care.
don't actually as much as they want. They talk about how we're pro life. We're pro life. We want these babies. Okay, so you're pro life until it's
They're pro their
immigrant.
life.
You're pro life until it's a gay child. You're pro
You're pro.
life until it's a
Yep.
child of color. You're pro life until they're poor. You're pro life when it's a white heterosexual cisgendered Christian child. Anybody else you don't give a shit about. And at this point, you cannot say, you only have to look at them repealing and shutting down the suicide prevention hotline.
It only makes me think, what would they do if their own child had a mixed child? We'd probably never hear about it
Mm-hmm.
because they would hide it.
I was gonna say the same thing. As somebody who grew up in a Christian household and grew up going to church and grew up in that community, they wouldn't talk about it.
I
They
got
don't talk
lucky.
about it.
I got
It
really
gets
lucky.
ignored.
I got
They don't
two
talk about it.
amazing
Not
parents.
everybody throws them out. Not everybody
But
throws. And don't
generally
get
they
me wrong.
do.
My parents are very amazing. My
Oh,
parents are very
I love
loving,
mom.
very understanding.
Love
My
mom.
parents are so understanding. They when I came
Love
out,
dad.
they both accepted me with open arms. They loved me. They still love me. But I have friends who weren't so lucky. I
Lucky.
have
Yep.
friends whose parents just, oh, well, this is just a phase, or they just, they don't outright kick them out, but they don't accept them for who they are. They keep praying every day that God will take this away from them, or that, they'll snap out of this phase or whatever, and you just ignore it. They just that's all. Um, in my experience, that is my, with when it comes to what they deem as sin, they ignore it. They ignore the problem.
Have
There
you ever
is
watched
no
Shiny Happy People?
problem. No.
Okay. Look, that is just a messed up life. But they I do know this, that Jim Bob, who's the dad over the Duggar family, was a senator, right?
Mm-hmm.
He endorsed Trump. He was all for that. They're trying to, that whole part of their community, and what they're trying to do is take over the world with that religion, basically, and to appoint a totalitarian, basically. And they've done it.
Mm-hmm.
They've done it in a sense. We, as the people, have to make America America again and do what's right and take them down. And the thing is it's going to be hard, but people like us need to keep standing up and taking, speaking out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
did I send you that link to impeachtrumpagain.org?
Yeah, yeah, you did
Okay.
send me that.
Did you read over all the things that he deserves to be impeached for?
I haven't, to be honest.
It's okay. It's okay.
But there's a lot that I
I,
know,
I got them
like
right here.
just basic stuff. Yeah.
So, one is unconstitutionally usurping Congress's power to declare war.
Yep.
Basically, he's saying we can't declare war with another country, even if we want to go fight for them, like we've always done. We've always been there for the underdog and helped them out. All Trump's wanting to do is be there for the ones who's going to give him more money. Unlawful mobilization of military forces against civilian protesters in the United States. Now, unlawful mobilization of military forces against civilian protesters. What does that mean to you?
Oh, it's when he sent the National Guard to deal with L.A.
Do you know what else he said? Why can't we just shoot him in the foot?
Mm-hmm.
He was on camera saying, "Why can't we just shoot him in the foot?" Not let's use tear gas. Not let's use beanbags. Why can't we just shoot them in the foot? Yeah, that's who we've elected. Not me, them. Not you, them. Yes, and my aunt, and I'm not going to call her name out, is one of them. Um, so then we have illegally kidnapping and detention of removal of U.S. residents, not immigrants, U.S. residents. Illegal and unconstitutional removal of U.S. residents, migrants, and asylum seekers to foreign prisons. So you know he's opened Guantanamo Bay again, right?
Right.
That's horrible. Like, just first of all, I don't even think our terrorists deserve to be there, and they're terrorists. So unlawfully attempting to deport immigrants for peaceful protesting. So there he was trying to take away the rights to the people that are here. Which, do you know what it says on our Statue of Liberty? Or,
Oh, you. I should. You're
Give
gonna
me
tell
your
me and I'm gonna
tired, your
remember it,
poor, your
but
huddled masses
yeah.
that breathe, yearning to breathe free. So that's what it says on our Statue of Liberty, because we accepted everybody from any country fleeing from countries with tyrants. We're going to be ones leaving here hoping that they have a Statue of Liberty that says the same thing if we
Hmm.
don't get this under control. Now, you know the movie The Day After Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Do you remember that scene in it where we're cutting the fences to go into Mexico?
Yes.
I don't see that being too far in the future if he continues what he's doing, if we can't get him out of office. This whole country was laid on the foundation of our founding fathers leaving England because they did not want a monarchy. They did not want to live in a monarchy anymore. Granted, I'm not exactly happy with the fact that they inlaid all the plans that the monarchy was doing. They just made it a democracy instead of a monarchy, right?
Right.
But we could do trade and barter. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. They had a plan. They did the Constitution, and they fled from there. Oh, I love the kitty. Love the kitty. I want more of the kitty in my podcast. Um, Hello, kitty. Okay, so the founding fathers did. They fled from that country to here to get away from a monarchy or tyrant or dictator, basically. And now we've appointed the same thing, which even let me say this, and I can't quote the Queen, but let's just say the Queen of England before she passed away didn't even like him.
Fair enough.
So where we fled from, we put in office someone with a $5 haircut that the Queen of England sneered at, that wouldn't even let her dogs eat chow off his finger. It's like she wouldn't even allow probably him to pick up their poop. I have more respect for the Queen of England than I do Trump. Hands down.
I was just
May she
saying
rest in
something. The
peace.
British royal family is fucking crazy.
They're better than Trump.
Well, I was gonna say it's saying something because they're not great either.
That's like, let me put this out there, and I don't care who knows it. That's like Paskies against Fiserv.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But so let's touch on some funny things. Is there something funny that you've seen in the news about Trump lately?
I mean, did you see the whole thing South Park did?
Yes, I love that. I
Now
love it.
he's losing his mind over it.
Yeah, he wants to sue them.
I think
Oh, by the
I
way, he
think it's
wants to sue. He's
hilarious.
suing everybody that talks bad about him.
I was gonna say the man is currently in actual like legal proceedings
Court every day.
trying to sue. I forget the man's name, but
It
it's the owner of Fox News.
it's a
The man
mass.
is trying to sue the owner of Fox News, the
Fox is
man
the one
who
that
is
promotes
almost
him.
single-handedly, responsible for putting the man in office. He wants
Yeah,
to
he's
sue
suing. Oh
him.
my God! You heard the
It's
thing with Elon Musk, all right?
oh yeah, that whole
No,
breakdown.
the whole tariff thing. So the whole tariff thing is him and Elon are going to countries and saying, well, if you don't want to pay these tariffs, you have to get Stargate or whatever it is that you have to sign up for it. So now every country that doesn't want to pay the tariffs has to have Elon Musk satellites.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not against the Constitution completely? Completely against it. It's like you're bribing that country to trade with America. You're punishing every country, and it's not the rich countries, of course not. It's the poor ones that live on the trade from America that he's making them buy Elon Musk's stuff. Countries that can barely feed their own kids, that can barely keep their livestock alive, but rely on what we send them for what they can provide to us. He's making them buy $1 million satellites, $1 billion. Yeah, sign a contract with them.
I hadn't
Yep,
heard that, no, but that's yeah,
Starlink. That's what I was looking for.
yeah,
You know what's
Starlink
funny?
stuff. Yeah.
Elon Musk is just a looks like Trump's mentally challenged child. And half the picture. Sorry, I had to say it. I had to say it. It almost looks like a carbon copy of him when he's going to step on a plane. Like how the owner, like the dog starts to look like the owner starts to look like the dog. That's what it's starting to look like.
That's funny.
Next, we'll see Elon Musk with a comb over
No
and doing
shit.
spray tan.
That'll be funny.
Well,
Yeah,
let's hope
that's
let's
all.
hope he
That's all
hires somebody better than Trump's stylist.
yeah, I was gonna say. I
He is
mean,
richer than Trump.
I'm gonna say he's got all that money that he earned rightfully, and definitely didn't just get handed to him.
The
Uh,
thing is, that's what the whole sword fight is over. It's all it is a big sword fight. Is for Trump to become
oh
more of a
yeah,
billionaire
yeah,
than Elon Musk. That's why he's going to court. That's why he's suing everybody because he's appointed somebody in office who shouldn't have been appointed anyway. Who has no business being in office just because they're a billionaire. And now he's sword fighting him to be he's the richest man in the world. But what he doesn't realize is if he's having everybody buy Elon Musk's satellites, he's never going to be the richest man in the world. So what he doesn't realize, Elon Musk is playing him hands
oh
down.
100%. Elon's been playing him from the beginning.
He's
Elon's
not
been playing him
stupid.
from the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like who's being paid
Yeah,
off more?
he's been doing it from the beginning. It's exactly what like. Don't get me wrong. I don't like Elon Musk. I think Elon Musk is
I
just a
can't
bunch of a
stand him.
piece of shit.
He's an arrogant
Uh,
asshole.
but
Excuse me.
at the same time, I mean, you got to respect the hustle. He's playing him like a
Oh,
fiddle and has been from the beginning because the man's too stupid to realize it.
but do we want Elon Musk running the world,
No,
or
absolutely
would you
not.
rather have Bill Gates? I'd rather have Bill
Honestly,
Gates.
I'd
I'd
much
rather have
rather
you know. It'd be like if Bill Gates was president, I can picture James Cameron being vice president, and everything looks like Avatar all the time.
I'd rather not have either one of them.
But to me,
I'd rather
Bill
have
Gates and
somebody
James
knows
Cameron
what
go
they're
hand in
doing.
hand. You know what I mean? But
Forget billionaires. I'd rather have
exactly.
somebody that actually knows what they're doing in office. But
Well, bring it back to that. I'd rather have Obama back in office. Now I know he can't be, but maybe he can train somebody to be. Maybe he can find a successor. Kamala Harris was a good pick for president. Not the best, maybe, but a good pick.
it's Joe Biden's fault she's not president.
Well, I wouldn't put it on anybody's fault. If I put it on anybody's fault, it's for people believing in Trump in the first place and not believing a woman can run this country.
Yeah, but Joe Biden
It
also waited way too long to drop out of the race when he knew he realistically didn't have a chance, and didn't. And by waiting as long as he
he
did,
shouldn't
did
have been
not give her one
president
to
the
begin with.
last time. Okay, he really shouldn't have. I'm sorry. I'm not, and I'm not just for Democrats or Republicans. Honestly speaking, I'm for a we the people run this country. Let's
Yeah, I
barter,
don't
let's
think
trade. That kind of thing. Let's get rid of money.
Joe
That kind of
Biden
thing.
shouldn't have been. You're right. He shouldn't have been in office to begin with.
No, he was barely standing. You know, um,
Bernie Sanders was a way better pick both times,
and
but
Bernie
hey,
Sanders is older,
he's
right? Isn't
older,
he?
but yeah, I believe
He's
so.
got
But
more.
he
He's
was
got
a
more.
way
He's got more
better
balls. Let's
decision.
just say that.
He was a way better choice. He believes in all the right things. Joe Biden, as nice as he is, whatever you want to say about him, is everything that's wrong with the Democratic Party.
Now, this is saying a lot. I'd have picked
He's
Hillary
all
over Trump.
talk. Yeah,
And that's not just because she's a girl.
I voted. I voted for her. I'll
I
admit
did
it.
too.
I voted for her.
Hey, she was
I
the
voted
one
for
running
her.
the country when Clinton was in office the first time anyway.
I didn't want her really in office either, but
She was the better
knew she
pick.
would at least she would yeah, I knew she was the better pick. I hate the fact that I have now voted in 3 elections. I have now I'm old enough to have
I
voted in
don't
three
like to
elections.
vote.
In all 3 elections that I have voted in,
I've
I have
lost.
not I have well, I don't care that I win or lose. I don't care
But you know
about
what I
that.
mean. You know what I
That's
mean.
not what voting is for.
The the
My
wrong
problem
person
is
won.
I have been forced to vote in all 3 elections that I've been forced to vote in is for the lesser of two evils and not somebody I
Yep,
truly believe
I agree. That's what I meant by that. So I have the same sentiment.
in.
I've never voted my entire life until it came up to Hillary and Trump, and that was the first time I've ever voted in my entire life. And the lesser of two evils would have been Hillary. She's already ran the country before. She kind of knew what she was doing. Yeah, look, she's not the best candidate, but she's not the worst. And honestly speaking, I've not seen a good candidate since Obama. Really, honestly, just saying. When Obama was in office, I didn't worry about anything. Nothing. Speak of.
I didn't either,
It's
but it's 'cause I was a child. So
well, I wasn't. You may be 29, but I'm 43, so I wasn't a child. I didn't worry about jack crap. Okay, and you didn't worry about
I
nothing
was
because
in
your parent.
junior high when he
Your
was in
hold on.
junior
You
high
didn't
when
worry
he
about
got elected for the first
you didn't worry
time.
about anything because your parents didn't worry about anything, right? Because when your parents are
Well,
worried, your
yeah,
kids are worried.
that's fair. Yeah,
So you
that's a
didn't worry
fair
about anything
statement.
because your parents did not have to worry about anything. They didn't have to worry about you getting Christmas or tariffs on this or tariffs on that. They the world moved in a constant motion of everybody being at peace here. Now we're worried about even okay. So even MAGA, even the people that helped get him elected, are hating on him now because he's not even handing over the Epstein files like he was supposed to. He is not doing anything he was supposed to do, and he's getting away with it. We've got to figure out a way to get our Congress to stand up, all of them, and say it's enough. Enough is enough. And I'm pretty sure there's a clause in there, and not just we have to sign petitions and stuff, that we're the people, we the people, can actually stand up and do it ourselves so we get enough walking on Washington if we have to. And if I have to leave my home in Texas to do my first march ever, it would probably be against this guy. And if I have to walk all the way from Texas to Washington, D.C. to prove how much I dislike this man, I'll do it. And I'll do it
Fair enough.
alone if I have to. But I don't feel like I have to. But I will if I have to.
Fair enough.
There's not much I stand for. I mean, I stand for a lot. And one thing I do not stand for at all is the fact that he's walking all over the Constitution completely. You find this country is founded on that, the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. Boom. We've learned that our whole lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've never been told that one day a felon, a convicted felon, was going to walk in the White House, throw out the Constitution, and just say what we can do now and can't do. It's like, who predicted that? Nobody. Maybe Nostradamus did, but also, what does that say if we have a convicted felon in the White House? Now, nothing against convicted felons whatsoever. I am married to one. No problem with him whatsoever. But when he gets in out, and then he has them say that everything he's done in office doesn't matter, right? Like anything he did while he was in office this last term didn't matter. They could not convict him on it. Whatever. Fine. You want to go with that? No problem. Then he wants to turn around and wants to have Obama arrested for
Mm-hmm.
bad mouthing him or saying this or doing that while he was in office, right? Well, you know what? There's the irony in that because what Trump got the Supreme Court to do about him, he can't touch Obama. He's got immunity.
Nope. Yep. He can't do it because of what he did exactly. And
So
here's the thing: Obama did fucked up shit too. They all do. It's the presidency. It's the
first of
way the
all,
U.S. government runs.
you're
They all
you're
do shit.
you're you got a lot of choices to make, and they're hard choices.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. That's
None
what I
of
was
them are
like.
easy.
It's a lot of impossible choices. All right. Um, but
The
yeah,
best
I
president is
love
the
the
one that leaves
idea
it up to
where
the
he
the
can't,
the military people.
the fact that he now can't do that is great to me.
They
I
can't touch
also
him.
love the fact that, he is now trying to release anything and everything he can to get people to forget about this Epstein list,
Oh yeah.
about these Epstein files. The man released, it was like over like 5,000 documents about the MLK assassination, which rightfully so. Honestly, it's one of
Wait.
the only
First of
things
all,
the man's
isn't that
done that I agree
illegal?
with. No, he can declassify he can
Oh,
declassify
that's right. Right. He
documents.
can. He can.
He does
I
have
can't
the
wait
he
till we have
does
the
have the
Trump
power to
library.
declassify documents. But the fact that he is trying to do whatever he can, and the fact that he got Martin Luther King's wife to come out and say,
What?
"All right, now release the Epstein files." The fact that he got Martin Luther King Jr.'s wife to say, "Yeah, no, I know what my husband stood for. I know who he was as a person, but yeah, we choose violence." Do you know how bad you have to fuck up for the King family
What?
to go, "Yeah, burn it down"? It's yeah. So when he released all of the files,
Right.
she released her on her personal Twitter. She released a picture of her husband sitting like cross-legged in like a smile, and just said, "Great, now release the Epstein files." Just all of this, like he's trying to just do whatever he can to distract people, and we just have to, as a nation, we have to honestly
Stop
keep
wearing
on it,
rose-colored glass or
keep
Cheeto-colored
putting the
glasses.
pressure on him, keep putting the pressure on him to release that file. And you know
Well,
what? I don't care. I
absolutely.
I am a registered Democrat. I am a registered Democrat. I will say I don't
Me
always
too.
agree with what the Democratic Party does, but I am a registered Democrat. And here's the thing. Here's the difference, okay? And
It's
it's
the
something
lesser
that
of the
I've
two
talked to
evils.
friends about before. Here's the difference between, and not even that. Here's the difference between the left and the right when it comes to the Epstein files. Okay,
I'd love to hear it.
the right wants the Epstein files released because they want to see all of the people on the left get destroyed. The
Yep.
left wants the Epstein files released so that we can get our own fucking people out of office that don't deserve to be there.
Exactly.
That is the difference. And look, I completely understand. What a lot of people don't understand is if these files release, there are a lot of really, really powerful people on those lists that is going to lead to a lot of shit going down, and
Oh, all hell
society
is going to break loose.
society will most likely collapse a bit.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm also willing to
To go
pay
through
that.
that.
I'm willing to go through that if it means that I can trust, at least have a semblance of trust in the people that are in office
It almost
or the
sounded like
people
you
that
were
are
going
in
to say so
power.
we could Trump.
No, I, and I do,
I'm
don't
like,
get me
sorry, that
wrong.
was
I'm
funny.
not one of those people. It was funny, but I'm not one of those people who's like, he's, he's definitely on, but I am one of those people who's like, it's a little suspicious. All these pictures that are coming up of him and, him and Epstein together and all this other shit. Like, I get it. Like, it's a little suspicious. I'm not one of those people out there that's like, oh, 90% of Hollywood's on the list and like freaking out. It's like, but I am one that's like, yeah, if that list does in fact exist and it is something that's pointed out and it is something that is as horrible as they say it is, it needs to be released because those people need to be held accountable for the fucking crime they committed. Those children deserve justice.
Let's see here. I'm going
It's
to see
that
if you
simple.
can. Absolutely. Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to see if you can hear the audio on this because it says here just earlier today, President Trump steps up his criticism of President Vladimir Putin's rush of Russia over the war in Ukraine on Monday and significantly sped up his deadline for Moscow to make peace. That's his best friend. They play Ring Around the Rosie every Thursday. I even come up with a song about it. But see here, talks to Scotland. So then, of course, it goes to Trump says he declined Epstein's invitation to visit his private Caribbean island. You know, I don't believe a thing this man says.
Persona non grata. I threw him out, and that was it. I'm glad I did, if you want to know the truth. And by the way, I never went to the island, and Bill Clinton went there
He
supposedly
throws Bill Clinton under the bus.
28 times. I never went to the island, but Larry Summers, I hear, went there. He was the head of Harvard, and many other people that are very big people. Nobody ever talks about them.
You know what I hear there? I never went, but everybody else did.
Mm-hmm.
Could,
It's
could you hear it?
classic deflection. It's
Yeah,
classic
absolutely.
deflection.
Hands down. That's all he does. Is
If
he
it's
wants.
that big of a deal,
He's a
if it's
magician. He
that big of
thinks
a
he's a
deal, then release
magician.
the list. If he's not on it, release it. If you didn't go to the island, you got nothing to worry about, big boy. Release it.
You'd think he'd be smart enough to find his way to get his name off of it.
He doesn't understand. This is what he doesn't understand is he thinks what he is doing is clearing his name. But he's
And he's just
not.
making it worse.
Because all he is doing is pointing out the fact that he just doesn't want to do it. Because if he wasn't on the list and all the things that he's saying are true, then there's no reason for him to not release it.
I agree. I hands down agree.
That's
Let's
simple.
see what else he said today.
And you know what? I also will say this. I agree. I agree with the people on the right who come around and say, well, Biden could have released it. You're absolutely right. Biden should have released it. I disagree with that too. He should have released it. You're right. He was protecting people that were on that list, 100%. And it shouldn't have happened. He should have released it. You're doing the same thing. You're just deflecting.
So have you seen, let me see if I can find it here. Did you ever see where Trump decided to call Canada the 52nd state?
He wants it to be the 51st state.
51st, yeah, whatever. Something like that. Oh, yeah, 50 nifty United States, yeah, 51st. Never ever said that song. Did you see what the Prime Minister from Canada said?
I have not. I know they weren't pleased, but I haven't seen exactly what they said.
It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Hands down. And Canada will not accept people from the United States, not just because of Trump. I will say that, but and I joke with a colleague of mine, which you know who I'm speaking about, but won't say his name, because he's from there. And the other day I said, I'd like to have you on my podcast, but you're scared of being deported. Now it's really, really bad when you have to say that to somebody who's been in the United States and married somebody from the United States for as long as they have been, but can't have them on your podcast because you're scared of them being deported. I mean, that's sad to me. It really is sad. Now, luckily, my colleague has a very good sense of humor and took it as the joke I was saying it as, but also took it seriously too. Let's see if I can find this right here. Oh, wait, is that him? And
All right, thank you. Mr. President, welcome to Canada.
Thank you.
It's a great honor. Happy birthday. A few days short.
A little bit.
A few days short, but didn't have a chance to see you on
He's so
on
kind.
the day.
He's so kind.
Happy birthday to the U.S. military as well, 250th, and this is the 50th birthday, if you will, of the G7. This marks the 50th birthday of the G7, and the G7 is nothing without U.S. leadership, and your personal leadership of the United States. Many issues.
See how relaxed he is on the right?
Geopolitics, economic, technology,
don't even
and
know how to
working
say
hand in
it.
hand with the United States, Canada and the United States, and the other G7 partners with your leadership. Very much looking forward to the meeting and grateful to have you.
Thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate it, and we've developed a very good relationship, and we're going to be talking about trade and many other things. And we have a whole group of people, some traders and some other people. I see my top economy people. But we have a very talented group of people, and you do too, and I know they work together very well. I look forward to that. The G7 used to be the G8. Barack Obama and a person named Trudeau didn't want to have Russia in, and I would say that was a mistake, because I think you wouldn't have a war right now if you had Russia in, and you wouldn't have a war right now if Trump were president 4 years ago, but it didn't work out that way. But it used to be the G8. And now it's, I guess, what's that, 9 years ago?
He can't stop being a narcissist. That's what I just had to make that comment. My apologies.
Years ago, and switched over
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Threw Russia out, which I claimed was a very big mistake. Even though I wasn't in politics then, I was very loud about it. It was a mistake in that you spend so much time talking about Russia and he's no longer at the table. So it makes life more complicated. But you wouldn't have had the
He
war.
doesn't even know what he's talking about.
And other than that, I think we're going to accomplish a lot, and I expect to. And I think our primary focus will be trade and trade with Canada, and I'm sure we can work something out.
Yeah, very
Thank
good.
you very much.
Yeah, so much. Thank you very much.
It's, you know, when I hear from the Canadian Prime Minister is he doesn't talk about himself. He talks about his country. He talks about our country. What I hear from Trump, he talks about himself and the people he hates. That's what I hear. And what they did wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. He's
Okay.
all about division. He always has been. He's not about, he talks about wanting to make America great again, right? America,
It was already great.
you can make your
We've done
arguments
that.
about how great the country was or wasn't, whatever.
No country's great
But
to a certain extent.
before 2016, it was not nearly as divided. It was not nearly as divisive. It was not nearly as hateful. Did those things happen? Yes. Hate exists. I mentioned I'm a proud bisexual man. I know firsthand hate exists. Okay, I get it. I grew up. I was bullied in school, but is that on such a massive scale that we see today? It was not. It was not every day so divisive. It was not. I miss not wanting to go to family gatherings because I didn't like somebody was there, and not because of something that they wear or how they act, and not I just don't want to have the conversation I know I'm going to have because Uncle Ricky's going to have 2 beers and talk and just be openly racist the whole time because he thinks he can now because of the man that's been in office and how divisive the country has been the last almost 10 years now, where people think it's okay again, and it's not okay. Hatred's never been okay. It used to be people with like there's still a lot of people out there who you got to watch what you say around people because they'll smack you in the mouth. But there are so many. The fact that we have so many people in our country who think it's okay to be openly racist now says a lot about the people we have in power.
Agreed.
Because they didn't do, yes, there were racists. I was alive and sentient when Obama was in office. Racists were there, right? But it wasn't as openly done as it is today. We didn't have these Proud Boys protests every 2 fucking weeks. We didn't have people marching through the streets of cities with tiki torches spouting racist things all over the place. We didn't have people suiting up in fucking body armor with an AR-15 going across state lines to shoot at protesters. We didn't have shit like that until this man came in office and decided that it was okay.
You felt safe back then. Yeah, I agree. Now, I'm going to play something for you. I'm going to show you the difference between NBC News and Fox News and how they report. I'm sure you know Fox News is literally the one thing you want to laugh at, and what I do for homework to laugh sometimes. But here is what the Prime Minister.
Have you asked the president to stop calling Canada the 51st state?
Yes.
When did you ask him?
Today.
Okay, specifically, what did you ask him?
Exactly what you just said.
But what words did you use? How did you ask him?
Look, I gave you an answer. Do you have a follow-up?
What was his answer?
Well, we'll look. I don't know. He's the president. He's his own person. I would go back to showing the difference between a wish and a reality. We're very clear. I've been very clear publicly, consistently. I've been very clear in private. It was clear again in the Oval Office. Would be clear throughout. The president, he understands that we're having a negotiation between sovereign nations, and that we will only pursue and accept a deal that's in the best interests of Canada, not just in the short term, but in the medium and long term for Canada.
Have you asked the president?
So, responsible answer, I would say. I mean, it's really kind of hard to answer that question, being come out like that. I get that. Let's see how Fox News presented it.
Imagine being
Well,
able to
without
build
the
anything just by thinking about it.
skip.
Meet Base 44.
To go very constructive discussions. We agreed to have further conversations in the coming weeks, and we are looking forward to meeting in person at the G7 summit in Kananaskis in Alberta. Now, while that's going on in Canada, we will focus on what we can control. Alors, demain, je réunirai avec les premiers ministres pour un appel afin de faire le point sur les conversations que nous avons eues ici
I
aujourd'hui
wish I knew what he was saying.
et de discuter du travail qui nous attend.
He's just repeating what he said in
We are
French.
going to reinforce our strength at home. We will reinforce Canada's security for an increasingly dangerous and divided world. We will transform our border security, our security in the Arctic, and our support for our allies around the world. We'll build an economy that creates jobs, grows incomes, and withstands shocks. When, in fact, the strongest economy in the G7, an economy that works for everyone. Nous allons bâtir une économie canadienne renouvelée, où tous peuvent réussir dans un monde qui
He's repeating it. Yeah, he's repeating what he said in French because they speak. I'm pretty sure they speak French in Alberta.
Nous allons bâtir les infrastructures qui
a lot of
permettront à nos entreprises de
speak French.
rejoindre de nouveaux marchés autour du monde.
Particularly
Et
Quebec.
nous allons
is
bâtir
French.
une seule économie canadienne, pas 13. We are masters in our own home, and we can give ourselves.
So I see somebody who, right there, is now. He really knows he has to protect his home. Like from us, what it seems like a little bit. In a way, I get that from them. I admire and respect, and I've always admired and respected the Prime Minister of Canada, whether it be Justin Trudeau or Mark Carney. Canadian Prime Ministers have always held themselves in a certain respect and a certain. They carry themselves in a way that, not makes you respect them, but you kind of get what I'm getting at. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you would think that our president would not think that he could call them the 51st state and think that he could at all lead them into a deal where they become part of America. First of all, like the King of England said, Canada's not for sale.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm getting at is why I honestly would love to. Okay, so I don't know if you know this. Trump's niece is a clinical psychologist. She has she's self-diagnosed him, should I say, as a narcissist, of course, but she's never been able to actually diagnose him because he will not let her. He actually will not go to anybody that will give him a diagnosis of anything other than what he wants.
Sounds about right.
This is what she has to say on him.
Okay, this has to be the last thing I do. I've got to go.
Guess which student has a better
Say that.
chance of getting into
Wait.
an
Oh, you're good. You're good. Oh, thank you for letting me know. Okay, last thing.
Yes,
I
this
promise.
has to be the last
First,
thing.
take a look at Zach.
Yeah, I
He's
got it.
valedictorian.
First, my exclusive
Okay,
interview
absolutely
with
last
President
thing.
Trump's
We'll
niece,
wrap it up,
Mary
okay?
Trump. She has just published a scathing new memoir of her uncle
Thank
and
you
her
so much for
family,
being here.
who
I
went
really
to court to
appreciate it.
block the
More
book
than
and
you know.
prevent Mary Trump from doing any interviews. I sat down with her after a judge ruled that Mary could not be stopped from speaking out. Her book is a deep dive into her past with the Trump family, but Mary is very focused on what the country should do right now. What's the single most important thing you think the country needs to know about your uncle?
He's utterly incapable of leading this country. And it's dangerous to allow him to do so.
Based on what you see now or what you saw then?
Based on what I've seen my entire adult life.
What do you want to happen now?
This country is on a precipice, and we have a decision to make in the not too distant future about who we want to be and where we want to go as a country. It's hard for me to process just how many awful things are going on simultaneously on a daily basis. And people need to know. People need as much information as is available in order to make a decision that makes sense for our future as a country, as Americans, as citizens of the world, so to speak.
You do have one potentially explosive allegation in the book, at least one. And you write that when the president was trying to transfer from Fordham to Penn, he had someone else, a man named Joe Shapiro, take his SATs?
Yes.
This was 1964. How do you know that?
I've been told this by people in my family. I am absolutely confident that it's true. I'm happy to finally to be able to speak about it. I also know that it was not the Joe Shapiro people have been focusing on.
So it's, to be clear, it's not Pam Shriver.
No.
Pam Shriver, the widow
Right.
of Joe Shapiro, has come out publicly and said
Right.
he didn't meet Donald Trump until Penn. There's no way this is true.
Yes, and I feel terrible that she's been subjected to this. Honestly, I wish I could have said something sooner. And I think the only people other than me who can address it are other people in my family, and I look forward to hearing their response to that question.
How do you know it's true?
I trust my sources.
Is Joe Shapiro still alive?
That I don't know. I have no idea.
Have you ever met Joe Shapiro?
I have not.
So you believe in your sources. How do your sources know?
They were alive at the time, so they have firsthand knowledge of this.
So what she did was she taped her aunt, I think her aunt, her mom, her aunt or her mom, something like that, on a 2-hour-long phone call, and it completely and she released the tapes. She released all the tapes of the conversation, where she speaks out that Trump cheated on his SATs. He got somebody else to take the test for him. And
I mean, I wish I could say I'm surprised.
I'm not surprised at all. But, and I wanted to play this because I want the listeners to know that his niece, his own niece, is appalled at what her uncle's doing. And Scott, I want to thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. You have no idea how much this means to me, how much this is going to mean to our listeners, and everything. You've just made my night, and you've made their night. I know you have. Because your voice is a loud voice, and I want it to be heard.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Anytime you want me on, just let me know. Let me more than happy to help.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I want you to have a wonderful rest of your night and a safe trip.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You have a good one too.
Thank you, Scott.
Bye.
Bye.